Hello and welcome to Chapter 9, Business Opportunity and Market Fit from the Introduction to Business textbook. In this chapter, we're going to identify approaches that will help you match the opportunity with the market. So we're really going to find that and to explore how to identify those opportunities to assure that you have a market fit through strategic analysis. So what we're going to cover is, and by the end of this chapter, by the end of this lecture, you're going to be able to answer the following questions. What product or service attributes need to be considered for your company or for your startup? What is the relationship between competitors, customers, and company? And which one of those three C's is the most important one? And what approaches should you take to identify good business opportunities and to ensure it fits the market? So we really want to be able to answer those questions. And again, we want to make sure to assess how the proposed business that you're creating fits the industry, competition, and customers by revisiting, assessing, and synthesizing the research information. So we really want to get at that. Of course, understand your product and service and making sure that it matches the customer's needs and wants. The last thing you want to do is create a business where you offer a product or service that your customer base really doesn't want or need. It really would defeat the purpose of having a business. So that's really important. And of course, why will the customer purchase the product or service from you rather than others? As I had mentioned at the beginning of these lectures, is that you're always going to have competition in a business, whether it's a direct competitor or indirect competitor. The other main competition that you will always have for business is people's pocketbooks, right? Pocketbooks. Why are they going to purchase your product or service, and how are you going to make their life easier purchasing your product or service? One of the things is to understand that you really have to, again, you have to research. You have to do your research on your industry, on your competition, and do the research on your customers. How you do the research on your customers, like, again, who are your customers? When do they buy? How do they buy? Who are they? Where do they hang out? You have to understand that customer, understand your competition, right? Understanding your three main competitors at least is what do they do and how can you do something different? And your industry. Is your industry going up, down, stagnant? What really, you have to really research your industry. Again, pay special attention to your potential customers and your needs. Like, what do they want? What do they need? So, for example, if you're getting into the luxury goods services, whether that's in cars or clothes or food, right? Understanding and paying a special attention to that customer base is really going to help with your business. I'll give you a prime example. McDonald's is a fast food joint for the most and their main customer base is low income individuals, or that's their main target base. Once McDonald's started to raise their prices a bit too much, and their main consumer base started to rebuck that and not purchase McDonald's as they use as much as they would, McDonald's realized, like, we're raising the prices too high that our main consumer base is not going to purchase. So they have to keep prices low on purpose. And McDonald's has to keep their prices low because they have to understand who the main customer is. So the same thing, the way that McDonald's knows their customer base and making sure that the prices don't get exceedingly high, you have to understand your customer base as well. Not only just the price point, but also the services that you provide for them and what they expect from you. Recognize that your initial concept may evolve as you fit the market realities. So you have to refine your process. Again, that goes with being adaptable. Companies who are adaptable in the marketplace are more than likely to succeed than those who are not adaptable. So some of the key business questions that, again, have to ask yourself: your product validation. what products and service are you really offering? Does your product or service match their customer needs? So again, is what you're offering part of their needs, and how do you differentiate yourself from competitors? If you, for example, were going to start a restaurant that's, let's say, a burger restaurant, like your main thing is you're all gonna offer burgers, right? And there are like three other competitors in your area. How are you going to differentiate yourself from the three other competitors, right? Say, for example, you are JoJo's Burgers and Shakes. Like, how are your burgers going to be different than, let's say, McDonald's, Burger King, or some other, or Red Robin place? Like, how are you going to differentiate your burgers that people are going to want to go to your place? So how do you differentiate from your competitors? And what will the customers purchase from you rather than us? Like, what value do you bring to your customer that they're not going to get anywhere else? Or what services are you going to offer? Like, price point is the worst thing that you can compete on. Because if you compete on price, you're going to lose. When you compete on price, people are like, well, they're cheaper, and then you're like, well, I'm going to drop my price again. If you can drop your pricing so low that you can run yourself out of business because you're not gonna make any money. So you got to be careful as to when you compete on price, you're not going to win. You have to compete on service. Just for example, going back to the fast food joints, yes, fast food places, they have, like, for example, Burger King, McDonald's, White Castle, and those others. They have a pretty low price, but they're competing on the service, the fast food service, and of course the people. For some people, like, the product or the quality is much. That's what they're paying for, the product or the quality, and of course how fast it is, and then of course location. So looking at the three C's, right? We're looking at the three C's of market fit. Looking at the diagram that identifies the three C's of market fit, or what some might call strategic analysis. Of course, customers are at the top. So when you look at the diagram in the textbook, right, the customers are at the top of the triangle, because without customers, the customer dictates everything, right? It dictates the products and services and how it's delivered. Without the customer, there's really no business. So you have to understand their needs and wants. Markets are not homogeneous mass of customers. Any good strategy defines the target market and analysis of customer segments. So again, you really have to define your customer. Understanding the customer is really important for your business. For example, Domino's, and we'll talk more about it. Domino's is in the pizza delivery service, not in the pizza itself or the sandwiches. A Mercedes-Benz dealership is in the luxury transportation, not entry-level cars. So when you understand what a Mercedes-Benz target market, they want luxury. So once you understand that, all of your services is based on luxury. You're not going to scoop down to the level of someone who's looking for an entry-level car. No, you're focused on the customer who's willing to pay for that luxury service that you do if you're a Mercedes-Benz customer or you're a Mercedes-Benz dealership. So again, you have to understand your competitors as to what they do and how you're going to be able to do the things differently. And your company, right? Your capabilities must align with the market opportunities. So taking a customer-centric approach, right? Again, who your target market is, like, define their specific segments, who they are. Again, kind of look at those demographics of them: age, gender, location, salary or their income, like who these particular people are, what they want. Again, understanding their customer needs, identify their key pain points as to what are the key pain points. And clarify what business. Again, it clarifies what business you're in. For example, Mercedes-Benz is in the luxury transportation business. They're not in the entry-level business. They're not in the, in the construction industry. They are in the luxury transportation services business. So once you understand that, it helps to understand what their key pain points are, like what do they want, and making sure that you align with who your target market is. Mercedes-Benz does not really, I'm not going to say they don't care, but they're not going to bother with an individual who is low income and barely has enough money to pay for, a used car that's less than $10,000. That's not their main target customer nor their consumer. They're going to focus on the individual who is, makes a good income, maybe, a high $90,000 or $100,000 or more, who can afford their $80,000 car or more that costs more. They're going to focus on that particular individual than that individual who's living paycheck to paycheck. So again, once you understand who your customer is, it's going to help you define how you go your strategic mission on your business. Again, knowing the competition, you have to understand your competitor strategies because they're going to impact your what markets are they targeting and what cost structure do they have. So again, who are your competitors and how are they organized? Again, I ask you, you look at your top 3 competitors and what do they do? What value do the competitors provide to their customers? So when you're looking at your 3 main competitors, what do they provide to their customers? And of course, again, just like chess, when you play chess, winning requires focus and anticipating moves. So you're going to really have to focus on your strategies as to what you're going to be doing. How is the competition organized again, and what markets are they targeting? So being able to differentiate yourself and your product or service is going to really help you be a main key point. For example, I'll go, when you look at the gyms, right, there's no shortage of gyms out there. Depending on where you are in the United States or in the region, you can probably find maybe 3 to 5. If you're looking at let's say, for example, if you're looking at a major city or major suburb within 50-mile radius or 30, even within the 25-mile radius of a major city or metropolitan area, there's probably at least anywhere from 2 to 5 gyms. So there's no shortage of gyms out there. Again, depending on in the area of the state or the region you're from. So if you're within 25 to less or even 10-mile radius of where you live, and you see there are at least 5 gyms in your venue, like how are you going to differentiate your gym if you were having one? For example, Orange Theory, which is a gym, differentiates itself from any other gym because it provides a 1-hour service. You book your hour, and you go to this hour, and it's you go through 3 cycles. You work out for at least an hour, and you go through 3 cycles in your gym, and then of course you're done for the day. And who they target, right? They target women specifically who make over $60,000 and have discretionary funds to pay for their service. So they differentiate yourself by having 1-hour services of working out, 3 cycles with a personal trainer that you go through with a group of individuals in that specific hour, and of course is targeted towards women. Not that men can't go, but their main focus is women. And so Orange Theory is being able to differentiate itself from other gyms because it's much more of a strategic approach of one-on-one sort of focus with the group. So the reason I bring up Orange Theory is because Orange Theory was able to differentiate itself from other gym competitors. So when you look at your business, say for example, you're going to go into a business like a restaurant or hair salon, nail salon, or consulting, construction, businesses that there's a lot of competition. Look at it and how can you and your business differentiate from the others. Let's look at a case study here. There's in your textbook, the hospital laundry services, right? They're doing their homework. They look at, the industry trends where hospitals are outsourcing laundry operations so they can make room for beds and increase patient capacity. There's market potential, right? There's at least 3 large hospitals within the mid-sized city, and they're considering subcontracting laundry services. There is competition. Most local laundry dry cleaning operations are small and provide similar services. Of course, there is an opportunity to specifically focus on laundry services, right? And of course, build a facility that differentiates yourself from other competition. How you do that? Prohibit local companies from getting to the business employ specialized design equipment, and develop a system that meets the standard certifications of the hospital. Again, most laundry and cleaning market can be divided into retail and commercial segments. So if you look at the dry cleaning services, the retail and the laundry and cleaning market, there's about 30,000 dry cleaners in America focused primarily on retail customers. So they have, when we talk about the small ones, we're talking, focusing on the particular individual. And not necessarily, there's not that much competition out there for those that just service specifically hospitals. Of course, there's not as many hospitals as there are people, so you can see why there's not that many dry laundry services for hospitals. It's not like every single city or every single town in the country has a hospital. So there could be probably 3 hospitals within a regional area of 100-mile radius or so, or 50-mile radius. So you have to be very considerate of that as well, and see how much that is. And of course, now with hospitals outsourcing their laundry, there may be an opportunity for you to do that. So the Medical Cleaning Services Inc. Corporation proposes to serve the industry specific needs for hospitals in the Springfield area. So they're going to do that, right? They look at the potential 250,000 pounds of laundry from 2 major hospitals. Again, the regional potential and cost reduction. So less than 30% cost reduction when the hospitals outsource it. And of course, the company is going to establish a centralized location where they can service 8 major hospitals in the region. Of course, what the strategic advantage of MCS company is that they have a large scale operation to discourage new market entrants. So what they're going to do is basically sort of monopolize their service in the region by making sure that they're contracted, that the hospitals are contracted to them exclusively, leaving no stone unturned, making sure no one else can enter their market. Specialized, making sure that they're specialized in meeting the needs of medical safety requirements, and making sure that their facilities and their equipment and the people employed by this company, meet the standards of medical safety requirements, right? Make sure they have the certificates and whatever needs to be done to get this done, and making sure that jobs for displaced hospital staff, perhaps, people who were displaced by the hospitals, that they work for this company because they have the training already, and so that could definitely help them. So the MCS company was able to strategically take advantage of making sure that they have the scale advantage, making sure there's no new competitors, making sure that there's specialized quality that makes it harder for any new entrant to enter this market, because they've been able to take control of the region, have the specialized equipment, the specialized certifications that needs for them, and of course hire those folks that were displaced. One of the things about strategy is that strategy is about beating the competition. It's about winning. So if you look at the sports analogy, right, you're creating a plan to beat the competition, right? What game plan are you going to do so the opposition, that you beat the competition, right? Again, what strategy are you going to have that's built, right? So making sure that you don't have anybody else to beat you, right? Again, what strategies recognize your unique capabilities and resources, understanding your competitors' weaknesses. So when you create your strategy, right, what specific areas are you strengthening, right? It could be at least 2 things that you have a complete strength on. For example, why is Marriott such a very successful hotel? It's because they have a process they have a system where you can easily rent hotels, and they have this huge database of individuals and a portfolio of hotels, and of course a portfolio of customers who are locked into the Marriott hotels. So they've been able to identify their strength and being able to compete on that. So analyzing your competition, what are they weak on, and how do you capitalize on that? For example, another one is Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza has fast delivery. Not only but they have fast delivery, and you're basically know that your pizza's gonna get there, and it's not that extremely expensive compared to a local chain of pizza where the pizza may be much more expensive, and of course delivery may take longer. So Domino's Pizza is able to elevate delivery to a major strategic focus. Deliver it fast and make it more convenient for the customers. So because Domino's understood what the customers wanted and what the competition was not doing by delivering pizza on time and fast. So they'd be able to create a strategy around that of delivering pizza fast. Well, the other competitors probably could not do that. So being able to know that and create the game plan and executing that effectively is going to be very important for you to win. Again, we're talking about Domino's. They knew what their customer needs which was fast delivery of their pizza. The competitive gap, they deliver as a service. Now, I will say that at one point, Domino's had this marketing scheme where, if your pizza's not delivered within 30 minutes, it's free. They stopped doing that because there was there were accidents that happened with their deliveries, with the delivery drivers, especially in areas around the world where these delivery drivers were using motorbikes to deliver their pizza, and accidents would happen. So they stopped doing that for a while. They stopped doing that of guaranteeing delivery within 30 minutes or less, or your pizza is free, because it just created a lot of stress and caused accidents and even a death in some delivery drivers because of that, because they wanted to get there on time within 30 minutes. So again, Domino's was able to elevate their service. Their major strategic focus was on delivery. And looking at another one, business opportunity, the bicycle shop, right? Suppose you are going to open up a bicycle shop in an expanding suburb or major area. Again, how are you going to, City Cycle, for example, is focused on road bikes, but with a supporting line of crossover mountain bikes. So they understood that there's a fast growing segment in the bicycle market. Baby boomers and such transitioning from running to biking, so they were able to figure out that that's a growing market, and it's about $1,500 for bicycle. So again, they're going to target areas where consumers have the money, and they're going to pay for that price of $1,500 for a bike. So if you're opening up a cycle shop where your average bicycle is about $1,500, you're going to want to make sure that you're in an area where people are going to purchase that bike, because it makes no sense to set up a shop called City Cycle where your average consumer doesn't have the money to spend $1,500. So you got to make sure that you're in an area where of course the people in your area has at least the average salary of an individual is able to purchase a bicycle of $1,500 or more, and that, of course, that goes for, aside from City Cycle or any other type of business, making sure that they have the funds to purchase that. And making sure that there's no other retailers that focus on that specific market. So, for example, if you want to set up a shop specifically focused on road bikes, be a road bike retailer, and there's already 2 other road bikes stores, it may be a crowded area, right? You may either need to move to a different location, or you may want to focus on a different other type of bicycles. So key questions for your business to ask yourself is, again, what products or service are you offering? Does it match what your customers want? How are you going to differentiate yourself from your competitors? And what value do you really bring to your customer that's going to be above everyone else's others, right? Like, what Why is your customer going to choose you rather than your competition? So those are the 4 key questions you ask yourself for your business. Again, understand your customer, execute, have it, being able to differentiate yourself, and of course look at the market opportunity. So that wraps up chapter 9 of the Intro to Business textbook. Thank you.